Arrow Academy celebrates the best in world cinema with key titles from cinema's history. As the once common repertory cinema dies off, Arrow Academy aims to be your at-home equivalent, where you can make rich cinematic discoveries and enjoy films with optimal picture and audio presentation. Special features to contextualise and comment upon the film for that essential post-screening discussion, as well as a celebration of the original poster and marketing materials printed on the reverse of the Blu-ray sleeve. Arrow Academy takes its name from the dearly beloved repertory cinema, the Academy 123 in London, where many critics, writers, filmmakers and cinephiles first discovered a new kind of cinema which celebrated poster artwork with specially commissioned designs by famed artist Peter Strausfeld. So as the programmer of your at-home cinema, we hope you enjoy the cinematic treats on offer. This text can be found at the front page of many of the booklets within the Arrow Academy releases. It's a passage which identifies the label's aims, as well as a little history on the inspiration for the name and art direction of the physical releases. As a long-time collector of physical film releases, there have been many different companies and distributors that I've enjoyed following. Many of you, if you're watching this, will know several: Arrow, BFI, Eureka, Indicator and Second Sight to name a few. From the very early years in my collecting, one label stood out to me as a must-have. I've always been a huge fan of international and art house cinema, and the Arrow Academy label was the perfect collection for me to indulge in. Studying film at university and expanding my knowledge, both historically and with current releases, I often used the Academy as a backbone and resource into researching and exploring filmmakers and genres I wasn't familiar with. Every new box set release sent me searching for directors, actors, academics, and critics to fully delve into the detail and elevate my appreciation and passion for the art form. Being a collector, I have purchased and own every single one of the Arrow Academy limited edition box set releases, aside from one which incidentally was their first big box set release, the Camera Obscura, the Valerian Borovchik collection. The label caught my eye one day whilst I was browsing a local media shop. I had already begun to look at some of the Arrow video titles, and a younger impressionable me had picked up the release of Caligula despite not knowing anything about it. I recognised the Arrow logo on the window box editions of The Bicycle Thieves and Le Diabolique, which I ended up purchasing on a whim. My first introduction to the label were these brilliantly presented fragments of world cinema that I'd not heard of before. Whilst the name Vittorio De Sica was one I'd recognised, I hadn't seen any Italian neo-realist films, and the way that the Arrow Academy had presented the package only helped with my appreciation. A booklet with detailed analysis on the film and its place in history, as well as a staggering number of documentaries and an audio commentary included as well. I knew from this point on that the Academy was something I needed to follow closely, a curation of home-released world cinema unlike anything I had seen before. One of the key points in the passage I read at the beginning is the importance of linking poster art and release materials within the home video market. Arrow Academy has always delivered when it comes to physical artwork. Housing original reversible sleeves in their releases gives the viewer an appreciation of how the film was portrayed to the desired audience at the time of release. Their new commissions of artwork for their limited edition box sets is something I've grown to love. Each new set and release has a rich detailed design, from the rugged bold approach in the Rainer Werner Fassbinder collection to the intricate details of the Seiun Suzuki Taisho trilogy. The simplistic beauty of the Yoshida and Jisoji releases to the painted landscapes used for the Taviani brothers set. The aesthetic values of these physical releases is something that Arrow is very aware to keep as effective as possible. Every release is matched in the style of artwork, typography, and use of images representing the films in a tone and mood in a perfectly balanced way. The Academy was able to meld a number of important international and art house films into a seamlessly interconnected collection, visiting important genres and events in cinema history. It represents cinema from all over the globe. From Czech New Wave, The Fireman's Ball and Closely Observed Trains, Italian cinema, Visconti's Ludwig, the Taviani brothers sets, The Bicycle Thieves as previously mentioned. The French New Wave, we have Godard, Rivette and Roma. Japanese art house cinema, Yoshida, Jisoji, Suzuki, Imamura, Kobayashi, and some of the more recent films of Koreeda. There's classical American comedy in the Marx Brothers work, and classic French comedy with the Sacha Guitry collection. A large selection of Woody Allen's cinematic outputs, which in itself is a reflexive look into the style of European art house cinema, and, of course, a good dose of film noir. The list of notable releases from this label is truly staggering, and as a fan of cinema, it has been an essential part of my appreciation of film. And these are just a handful of examples that the label provides. Arrow, for those who don't know, released several labels of home releases, within different branding. The most notable of these is Arrow Video, which has been increasingly popular and successful in the boutique label circuit. The video label has primarily been associated with cult cinema, celebrating the hard-to-find releases and restoring horror classics into wonderfully presented collections. For me personally, the video label has been a very enjoyable collection to embark on. The films are often interesting, and as with the Academy line, they represent a diverse selection of films. More recently, they have included some standout releases such as John Carpenter's The Thing, Carrie and Old Boy. Whilst I do love collecting and picking out titles from this catalogue, I sometimes feel that there are films within that would have been better suited to the Academy label. Examples of this being the exceptional release of Park Chan-wook's Vengeance trilogy, or David Cronenberg's Crash and Videodrome releases, which are both excellent by the way. This, centrally, is what appears to be the case for how Arrow is going to progress with its film releases in the future. On the 22nd of March 2021, the director of content for Arrow, Francesco Simoni, sorry if I've said your name wrong, released a statement on their social media channels as follows. Dear Arrow Academy fans, after some very careful consideration, we have decided to merge the Academy label into Arrow Video. We are immensely proud of the work we have done on Academy, but have found it to be increasingly difficult to differentiate the labels whilst we work on both simultaneously, using the same Arrow team, designers, writers, editors, producers and so on. We do not distinguish one kind of cinema from another, and today feel that having two separate labels makes less sense on an ongoing basis. The labels began in very different places, with different fans and feedback. Over time, Arrow Video has come to take on a wider variety of films, and the lines have become increasingly blurred as to which release belongs where, and we have certainly experimented with this to figure it out. Both labels feature horror, crime, documentary, westerns, outrageous oddities, maverick auteur, and broadly span similar filmmaking eras. Both labels are worked on by all of us at Arrow, with the same passion and dedication. As of May, all our new releases will be Arrow Video, and in time we may look to change the logos on some older sleeves to unify releases under the Arrow Video banner. Though there will no longer be any Academy releases going forward, there will be a strong strain of films that Academy has presented in the past coming forward for release. I am thrilled we are working on some exciting releases by art house, auteurs and provocateurs, as we always have done, and I look forward to seeing them find a home and an audience under the Arrow Video banner. It appears that the Arrow Academy is no more. The label which took me into the boutique collecting world is now over, and after the upcoming Dasan box set in April, there will be no more. I'm optimistic that this could be a good move for the team at Arrow. Working alongside one label and branding as one cohesive team would allow for a faster turnaround on products, meetings and discussions about certain films being classified within the two labels will no longer take place, and, most importantly, the art house and international films released now will potentially reach a broader audience due to them being contained within the same label. What this means, for me, is that it's over. I'm around 95% complete in the limited edition box sets, and I've no intention of paying the ridiculous price for a pre-owned camera obscura set, as I own all the films and booklets separately. The Jules Dassin collection will mark the final purchase in the Academy line, a comforting place on the shelf, complete with its companions. I shall always hold the Arrow Academy in the highest regards. It's the heart of my collection, and represents some of the greatest cinema to have existed. The introduction to hundreds of excellent films has been met with open arms, and my knowledge and love for cinema has expanded greatly. I'm truly sorry that the label is no more, but I'm sincerely hoping that the team at Arrow Films continue to bring art house and avant-garde international cinema to us as an audience as they always have done. I'm sure their releases will continue to contain the excellent level of consistency I've come to expect, and a wider range of cinema will be available to be enjoyed by everyone. Thanks for watching. Hey, thank you for watching. If you made it all the way through to the end, I hope you enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed making it. The Arrow Academy is a huge part of my film collection, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working my way through it, and it's expanded my cinematic knowledge greatly. I want to say thank you to the team at Arrow for all of the great work that they do. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out in the future, and I hope as well that the clips that I've used within this video are acceptable to be distributed as I have within it. I've only taken materials from marketing on the Arrow Video YouTube and Arrow Academy YouTube channels. I haven't ripped any films off the discs or anything like that, or just re-uploaded things from the actual films themselves. So I hope that all the material used within this video is acceptable, and obviously I'm using it in a critical kind of manner, talking about the collection as a whole, so I hope that's fine. I'm really excited to see what happens in the future with Arrow, and yeah, stay posted for more videos on this channel in the future.